um while the elder getting that, let's go to the book of Ezekiel, the 34th chapter, and we're gonna start at the first verse. Who my reader for tonight?
Shalom, King. It's me, Sean Waller from H.O.I. Detroit. Shalom,
Sean
King.
Waller. Sean Waller in the building, H.O.I. Detroit in the building. Khan, the water king.
Uh,
Hey, Shalaki King, I didn't hear what you asked me to pull up.
Michael Todd,
You just broke up for a second.
Michael Todd pouring syrup on the tube.
Pouring syrup on the Bible.
Khan.
Okay, let me get that.
Shalom, King. Shalaki. What you asked me to get? Ezekiel what?
Ezekiel, the 34th chapter, and we're gonna start at the top.
God.
Yeah, man, these pastors getting bold in these last days, man. They don't know the scriptures. They don't know the word, so they can't teach the word. So instead of teaching the word, Salakia, go back, King. Go to another video. It was one in particular. I think it's one with another Jake speaking. Yeah, these pastors getting bold. They don't know the word, so they can't teach the word. So they got to put on all these demonstrations and um, make the Bible kind of entertainment instead of truth, knowledge, wisdom. They try to make it more so entertainment than spreading the true gospel. And it's a damn shame because our people not getting fed that spiritual manna by them doing that. You know, it's kind of leaving our people in the dark about our Lord Yahweh Shah, about the Most High, about the children of Israel. Yeah, scroll down. Scroll back up a little bit, King. I'm looking for this in particular, this channel in particular. Yeah, set the things above that. The one with the yellow writing. Yeah,
Who
that right.
cares?
Yeah, but bring that precept out before you play the video, King. Bring that
God.
precept out.
All praise. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34 and verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus said the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks?
Right. So woe to the shepherds, right? The Most High got Ezekiel prophesying against the shepherds or the pastors or prophets of Israel, right? Because we was given the law, statutes, and commandments so we could give it to the rest of the world, so we could show our people and the rest of the world. But if the shepherds being evil and wicked, it make the Most High look bad, man. That's why he say, "Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves." Right? They're not worried about edifying the people. They're not worried about healing the sick, man. They're not worried about visiting their own people. Right? It says, "Should not the shepherds feed the flock?" Imagine a shepherd tending to some sheep and the shepherd sitting there all day feeding itself and the sheep walking around hungry, man.
God.
You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what these pastors are doing. right? Verse 3, read.
Verse 3, yea, eat the fat, and yea, clothe you with the wool. Yea, kill them that are fed, but yea, feed not the flock, but ye flee not the flock. Shalak.
Right. So ye eat the fat, right? The fatness of you eat the fatness of your congregation after you make all the money off the tithes and offerings, right? Ye clothe ye with the wool, meaning you wearing the finest clothing off the backs of your congregation, right? Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock, right? So our people, you know, the children of Israel in particular, right? They get up there like TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar, all these high name pastors, even these low budget pastors, they manipulate in the minds of our people. They not giving them that spiritual food that they need to sustain, right? They not giving them anything. People going there starving for knowledge, and when they leave out, they still starving for knowledge. They haven't learned anything, right? So play this video, King. Play that video so we can get an example of what's really going on.
Who cares? I lift my hands in the sanctuary. I lift my hands to give you the glory. I lift my hands to give praise.
Greetings, y'all, and welcome to Seek Things Above TV. I'm your host, Lou Ciccone. So we are going to talk about Mike Todd today. Yet again, Mike Todd is back with something that leaves us scratching our heads. So before we do, man, y'all know what to do. If you like content like this, like, share, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Much appreciated. Lets YouTube know you like content like this. Let's go. So we have Pastor Mike Todd back at it again, man. We just going to play the video and we will talk about it as we go along, because some of this stuff, man, trying to describe it just doesn't do it justice. All right. You just have to see it for yourself and just experience the shock and scratch your head while you watch this. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it.
If this ain't your temple, it's the temple of the Holy Spirit. How you treating it? Y'all remember last week I told y'all that we had 3 settings we needed to be in: a setting of faith, a setting of friends, and a setting of spiritual formation. I brought the setting of faith back up here because this is the house of God. So this is a temple, okay? I'm gonna move this out the way because we don't need these clothes no more. I need everybody to see this. Yeah. If this is the temple, the house of God, I'm just gonna start acting how we be acting with our bodies in the house.
Right. So this
already, man, I would feel kind of insulted if I was somebody sitting here, right? Like the fact that you have to build props on the stage in order to explain something to me makes me feel as though you think that I don't have the listening capacity or the ability to comprehend truth from the Bible, and I need all of these things, right? I mean, I would just feel insulted by somebody doing this. Like, this is something that you do for children, maybe. Like, you're trying to, explain something. And honestly, children do fine all by themselves. You just explaining something and they have a bunch of questions and you get to the point and you can explain stuff. This right here makes grown folks sitting in this audience look like kids. But let's keep going and watch what happens next.
My favorite is Chinese food and ketchup. Why are you so bothered? Who gonna clean it? Yeah, this is just the house of God. It's just a house. It's just a house. just a house. Who cares? I lift my hands in the sanctuary. I lift my hands to give you the glory. I lift my hands to give praise, and we will praise you.
This is supposed to be a whole pastor right here.
You see this man? All right, this is a pastor in the congregation. What the hell is he doing, man? What kind of demonstration is this? You know what I'm saying? What precept is this that he's referring to? He's feeding his own belly, right? He's doing this for likes on Instagram or Facebook, right? He's not feeding the sheep the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that they need to sustain, right? Read verse 4, King, of Ezekiel 34:4, Baba Kashar. You might be on mute, King.
Con. Sean Waller reading, King.
Con.
Verse 4. The disease have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them.
Con, the disease have ye not strengthened, right? He not healing the sick with this, man. Neither have you healed that which was sick. How are you healing the sick with this demonstration? Right? You're not healing the sick. You're not giving them the knowledge that they need to heal. You're not giving them the physician, which is H.O.I, to heal. Right? Neither have ye bound up that which was broken. You got people in that audience, man, that's really brokenhearted out here, man. They don't know their identity. They don't know who they are. They don't know how to love the Lord. Right? So Satan is having their way with these people. They are brokenhearted out there in that audience. Watching this man throw all kind of food on a damn display, man. That's not healing the sick. That's not bounding up that which was broken. Neither have ye brought again that which was driven away. You're not drawing people to the church with this demonstration. You running people off from the church, man.
That's right.
People not feeling that. They know that's not of the Most High. And they don't even know the Lord like that, but they know that's not of the Lord, man. Right? It say, neither have ye sought that which was lost. He not trying to go feed the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He's trying to feed his bank account, man. And they don't take all that to spread the gospel. I never seen the elders out there on the street with a damn display showing a demonstration that don't have nothing to do with the Bible. Never saw that in my life. Right? It say, but with force and with cruelty, ye have ruled them. This is kind of humiliating, man, to have this as your pastor. These are people's pastors that's doing this type of behavior. Right? But with force and cruelty, have you ruled them? Because all you asking them to do is show up to church on Sunday and pay their tithes while you just feed them garbage. Literally. Right? Verse 5.
Verse 5. And they were scattered because there is no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered.
Right, and they were scattered because there is no shepherd. That man is not a shepherd, man. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, right?
That's right.
He's not a shepherd. It says, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field. All the beasts of the field is these other nations, man. We done became food to these other nations. They chewing us up and spitting us out. They slaughtering us. They devouring us because this man is not telling them who they are. He's not going up there saying, hey, you the children of the Most High. You got to repent and keep the commandments. right? He not preaching the commandments. He pushing prosperity gospel, and this is entertainment. This is not church. That is entertainment. All right. Play the video, King. Baba Kashaw.
This is supposed to be somebody's pastor, and this is what he resorts to in order to explain stuff to his congregation. And I mean, honestly, looking at the playfulness, looking at the recklessness in which he's throwing things all over the place. And mind you, we're going to, get back to it and see that this doesn't stop, right? Throwing things all over the place. It just displays a total disregard for what you've been given by God, in my view, because you are wasting the resources that you've been given to build this whole thing in order to only trash the whole thing. Like, who approves this stuff at Transformation Church? Who approves the using of the tithes and offerings of people to build temporary structures on the stage only to trash them? Like, I mean, I don't understand who approves this stuff. And this is, yeah, let's let's get back to it.
Don't care so much. It's just a temple. Syrup all over the communion. Don't care so much. Over the Bible too. Y'all stop acting like you care about this. Stop acting like this matters to you. On the picture, I need to do some artwork on the picture. See? Uh-oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh. Ooh. When I got into the mess, it affected the way I walk outside of it.
I saw war. I saw bombing.
I particularly don't find what he did to the communion amusing at all. Okay, I don't think that is. There's.
Yeah, man. So this man is whatever demonstration he's trying to perform, man. The man poured syrup on the scriptures, on the word of the Most High. Right? That was a perfectly good Bible that somebody could have utilized. Right? That didn't know the Lord, that was curious about their heritage, that was introduced to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the blessings and the curses. That Bible could have been utilized by anybody in that church or anybody outside of that church that didn't have one. He could have donated that Bible to somebody that was less fortunate or didn't have a Bible instead of destroying it. Right? He destroyed the word of the Most High right there on stage and told the people not to care about it. Right? Read Ezekiel 34:6, King, Baba Kashaw. You're on mute, King.
Khan. Salakia, King.
Khan.
Verse 6.
Khan.
My sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the faces of the earth, and none did search or seek them after them.
Read.
Verse 7. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the words of the Lord.
Read.
Verse 8. As I live, said the Lord God, surely because my flock became prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd, neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves and fed not my flock.
Right. So the Most High pissed off, man. He's upset. Right? He said, my sheep wandereth through all the mountains, going back to verse 6. My sheep wander through all the mountains, through all the governments and the political views, right? Because we can't find the Most High in church. We can't find them in the church. So we looking for the Most High through politics, right? Upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Ain't nobody trying to say, hey, come back to the fold, man. Come back to the sheepfold. Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Come back to the faith in Christ, the faith in Hamashiach Yahushua. Ain't nobody saying that, right? You are the children of Israel. You the ones that's being oppressed by the hands of your enemies. They're not feeding our people with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures. Why? Because they feed in their own belly. They feed in their own selves, right? That means that these pastors, a lot of these pastors, they know the word. They read the Bible. They know the word, but they not sharing the information in its proper context. That's feeding themselves. That's like us. We studying all day, all week, right? We studying for months, and then we get this information and we just keep it to ourselves. We keep our people in the dark. That's what the shepherd's doing, man. Right? We are not to keep this knowledge to ourselves. Right? We are not to keep this knowledge to ourselves. Hold that in Ezekiel 34, and let's go to Ecclesiasticus 33 and 17. Baba Kushar. We are not to keep this knowledge to ourselves. We are to spread and share this knowledge with our brothers and sisters. All right, the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus 33 and 17.
Khan. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 33 and verse 17. When somebody got to say, Khan. Khan. Consider that I labor not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning.
Right. Consider that I labor not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning. Right. So we're not laboring for ourselves. We laboring to feed the flock, feed the sheep, man. For all those that are seeking to learn, that's who we're laboring for. Right? We're not serving our own bellies, man. We're not here to feed ourselves. Right? Once we get spiritually fed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we feed our people. Right? Like Matthew the 1st chapter, right? Ezekiel the 34th chapter. You know, Psalms the 91st chapter. That's some spiritual food. It's good to us. And once we gain that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we feed it to our people, man. You know what I'm saying? So they can enjoy it and be edified like how we was, right? Consider that I labor not for myself only. It's not about us by ourselves, man. You have to deny yourself when you come into this truth. But for all them that seek learning, jump to the book of Romans, the 16th chapter and the 18th verse, because this is not what these pastors do, right? This is not what these pastors do, man. They don't labor for those that are seeking to learn. They don't do that. They laboring, they reading the Bible so they can twist it and use it to manipulate and to deceive people out of their damn money, man. That's what they laboring for. They laboring to be rich by using the word of God to do so. Right? Romans 16 and 18.
Khan, this is the book of Romans chapter 16 and verse 18. For they that are such serve not our Lord, Hamashiach, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceiving the hearts of the simple.
Right. So Michael Todd, he served not our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua. And it's obvious. He's real effeminate. He allowed transgenders in the church. He say that Yahushua is the only stripper that he'll throw money on. Right? This man served not our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, but his own belly. He worried about himself, man. I heard the man go on Breakfast Club and told people who first coming into the light to this to do away with the Old Testament. He said, you don't gotta read the Old Testament. If you come in to the knowledge of the truth or whatever, just jump straight to the New Testament, which is off, man. That's completely off. You gotta get the foundation up under you first. Why? Because he served not our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, right? And by good words and fair speeches, deceive the hearts of the simple. What he doing up there is good words and fair speeches, man. It's entertainment. It sounds good. It's a motivational speaker up there, man. Right? That's a motivational speaker. And he deceiving the hearts of the simple, of the unlearned. People in there thinking that they feel the Holy Ghost, right? Thinking that speaking in tongues is the Holy Ghost. Just because you move a certain way like James Brown, people think they got the Holy Ghost. You know what I'm saying? By good words and fair speeches, deceive the hearts of the simple. That's the minds of the simple. They deceiving the minds of the simple, man. And we gotta put an end to it, man. We gotta call out these pastors nonstop, day and night. Can't hold our tongue, touching their wickedness, man. Right? Because this is a wicked act. This man poured syrup on the word of the Most High where somebody could have had them scriptures and they could have been studying precepts with it right now. He destroyed the Bible right there in the front of his congregation, man. And even you hear some of his congregation like, oh, no, nah, man, what you doing? And he was like, no, y'all don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You shouldn't be worried about it. Right? Let's jump back to Ezekiel 34 and verse 9.
God.
Bring it out, King.
God, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34 and verse 9. Therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the words of the Lord of the Lord. Verse 10. Thus said the Lord God, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherd feed
Yeah, we are playing hide and
themselves.
seek, and we also played tag. And guess who?
The lock you. Start that from the top, King.
Come on, bro. Come. Verse 10. Thus said the Lord God, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more, for I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them.
Khan. So Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, he say, I am against the shepherds. Right? He had odds. He had rivalry against Pastor Todd, man. Right? It's saying I will require my flock at their hand, meaning these people about to start coming out these churches, man, by the masses.
That's right.
Men, women, and children are about to start coming up out of these churches by the masses. It's finna be an exodus out of these churches, man, because our people not being fed. They're actually being destroyed in there, and they driving them away from the Most High.
Right.
This demonstration ain't no telling. This demonstration right here probably drove 100 people away from this church, right? Because it's not of the Most High. He said, I will require my flock at their hand and cause them to cease from feeding the flock, right? So this Pastor Todd, he's going to eventually either be put to death or the Most High going to take the spirit of teaching from this man and put the spirit of humiliation on this man, right? He said,
Con.
I'm going to cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Ain't going to be no more demonstration like this in the Sunday church that has nothing to do with the Holy Scriptures, right? Neither shall the shepherd feed themselves anymore. It's going to be over with. He gonna take that knowledge, wisdom, that little bit of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that they got from him, right? For I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them. The same way the Most High delivered us out of them churches. We were delivered out of those churches, man. That church
Con.
have a that church have a stronghold on the so-called black community. That's one of the biggest strongholds on the so-called black community, man. Them damn churches, them whorehouses, right? A bunch of idolatry, a bunch of adultery, a bunch of thievery, robbery going on in them churches, whoredoms, drunkenness, fornication going on in them churches, homosexuality going on in them churches. We were delivered from that, man. Right? And I pray that the Most High continue to deliver our brothers and sisters out of them churches by the masses, right? And come to these street corners and come to these YouTube channels and receive these living waters, man, from the prophets that ain't asking for no money. We don't need money to teach you. We do this out of love and fear of the Most High.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not out here asking for money, doing demonstrations, lighting Bibles on fire or pouring syrup on Bibles to prove a point. Go to Nehemiah 8 and 18. Nehemiah chapter 8 and verse 8. You know, it's okay to be kind of animated when you're teaching, you know, lively, you know, kind of illustrative when you teaching, but that what that pastor doing, man, that's too far. That's going overboard. You're not edifying that. You're not edifying nothing. Why? Because you ain't bringing out scriptures. You pouring syrup on the scriptures. Because you can't teach the Bible. You don't know how to teach the Bible. Right? You need to be taught the first principles of the oracles of the Most High. All right? Bring that out, King. Nehemiah 8 and 8. Baba Kashar.
Con. It's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 8. If somebody got to say con. Con. So they read in the book of the law of God distinctly and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading.
Did Michael Todd give the sense to cause the people to understand the reading? No. No. None of them pastors give the sense of the scriptures to cause the people to understand what they just read. Right? Even when they bring out John 3:16, they're not giving the sense of the scriptures. They're giving their own opinion. They going off their own emotions. They going off the lies that they've been taught. I never in a Christian church read the book of John, the 3rd chapter, all the way through. Never. In the Sunday church have I ever read the book of John, the 3rd chapter, all the way through, man. They just go straight to John 3:16 and that's it, out of the whole chapter. You know what I'm saying? So they're not able to give you the sense of the scriptures. That's why the Most High say He gonna raise up His shepherds to feed the flock. Right? And that's what we're here to do, man. We're here to feed the flock. We labor not for ourselves, but for all those that seek learning. And it's a lot of people with a pure heart that's sincere, that's trying to come back to the Most High, and they trying to find them in them Sunday churches, and they'll never find them in there. They don't allow the book of Ezekiel to come out in the Sunday church. They don't allow Jeremiah the 23rd chapter to come out of church, man. Matter of fact, let's go there, man. Let's go to Jeremiah the 23rd chapter. Let's start from the top.
Hey, Shalaki King.
Khan, Elder.
When you get a minute, I want to share a video as well about Mike Todd. This is when he spit and rubbed the spit on this this brother's face, and he was trying to illustrate something in the Bible, but he totally missed the mark on what was done in the Bible and what he did. So
Okay,
yeah,
Khan.
whenever you get a chance, I want to share that video.
Yeah, get it loaded up. After we read verse 1 and 2 in Jeremiah 23, you could play it, Elder. Khan. That'll be perfect. Yeah, let's get the book of Jeremiah 23 and 1. Because these pastors got some nerve, man. Some nerve.
God. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 1. Somebody got to say, come. Come. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of the pasture, said the Lord.
Right. Woe means destruction. Destruction be unto the pastors. Right? Why? Because they scatter the sheep of the Most High's pasture. Right? Verse 2, read.
Verse 2. Therefore, thus said the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that fed my people. It's like it, that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, said the Lord.
Right. So the Most High is against the pastors that feed His people. He's against T.D. Jakes up there talking about, have you ever been swallowed up? He's against these pastors. Geno Jennings that's in there shouting and carrying on ruckus, shucking and jiving up there on stage. Right? He's against these pastors, man. They're not feeding the people. Right? Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away. These pastors they drove us away from the churches. They drove us away from the Most High, man. Right? That's what they did. They drove us away from the Most High. Right? And have not visited them. You know what I'm saying? Our pastors, they not visiting us. They're not worried about what you got going on. You just need to bring your butt to church on Sunday and pay your tithe. And that's it. They're not checking up on you. They're not asking about your well-being. They're not asking you how the family doing when they talk to you. You're just a consumer sitting in that damn church, man. Right? They say you
Right.
have scattered the flock and driven them away and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon the evil of your doings, said the Lord Yahweh. Now, let's visit upon the evil of their doings. Let's check out that video, Elder. Let's visit upon the evil of their doings, man.
God.
Something and you don't see it clearly yet, but you
He's
hear.
a damn sodomite, man.
And this is where most people would not face Jesus anymore. What most people would do is turn away. What I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is just as he's physically standing here, knowing what's coming, God's saying, can you physically and spiritually and emotionally be able to stand when getting the vision or receiving it might get nasty? I'm gonna say it in a point just like that. Receiving vision from God might get nasty. You mean, God, I just bought, in crazy faith, I just bought my dream car. And now you're gonna ask me to sell it back and ride in the hoopty again?
Hey, Shalaki, man. You see, their gospel is all about financial gain, right? All about property and things you can get. Not about growing and in faith, growing in understanding, following the laws, the statutes, and commandments. This is why he has to give an example of buying his dream car and then having to give it away. While we're watching this video, can you grab John chapter 9 and let's just read that real quick. Actually, I'll pull it up real quick and read it. So um, John chapter 9, I'll start from verse 2. Let me just start from verse 1. And as Jesus passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the work of God should be manifested in him. I must work the works of him that sent me, while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in this world, I am the light of the world. When when he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle. And he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. Let's go back to the video.
Yeah, because the vision I'm about to give you, it might get nasty. And do you hear and see the responses of the people? What I'm telling you is how you just reacted, is how the people in your life will react when God is doing what it takes for the miracle. What are you saying? This man was blind, and what he was trying to do with this man is give him his DNA.
This is gay,
Nasty.
like you said, right? As we read the scriptures, Yahushua spit on the ground and made clay. This guy spit in his hands and rubbed the spit on this grown man's face, spit all in the guy's mouth, hanging down his beard. And these are the things these pastors are doing, man.
Yeah,
These
that's
are
disgusting.
yeah,
That's disgusting.
that's so disgusting. These are the things these guys are doing. So what he's doing with the video you brought out is in line with all of the other things he's been doing, man. And like you said, he's definitely borderline effeminate and gay. So yeah, just wanted to share that video, King.
Powerful point, Elder. Powerful point. How they misdirect the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures didn't say that Christ spit in the man's face and rubbed spit all in the man's face, man. He spit on the ground, made clay, and rubbed the clay in the man's eyes, and he was healed. Michael Todd not healing nobody. He's not performing no miracles because the Spirit of the Lord is not with that man. A lot of these pastors are in a position to lead a church or a congregation, and the Most High Spirit just not with them, man. They still worldly as hell. You know, like the elder said, man, they just preaching prosperity gospel. That's it. You got to give something to get something, to receive something. Where the hell is that in the Bible? That's not in the Bible. That's not in the Bible. Oh, give me a little bit and then you're going to get something in return. It don't work like that. He said, blessed are they that keep the commandments. You get rewarded and you become prosperous when you keep the commandments. That's the real prosperity gospel, keeping up the commandments. But their prosperity gospel is sow your tithe so you can reap what you done sowed or more. Sow your tithe, sow your tithe, sow your seed so you can receive something. But these people don't never receive not a damn thing, man. They still got infirmaries, they still got the hospital bills, medical bills they gotta pay that they can't afford. They're not healing nobody. He didn't heal. That man wasn't up there sick. I think that was his brother up there. He wasn't up there sick. He was just doing a demonstration, and it did not line up with the scriptures. That demonstration had nothing to do with what the elder brought out in John the 9th chapter. It has nothing to do with that. So they just entertaining, right? Go back to Jeremiah 23 and bring out verse 3.
God. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 3. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and I will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
Right. So the Most High say he gonna bring out his flock from all the countries whether he scattered us at, man. And we're gonna increase at the last. We're gonna be fruitful and increase. All right, meaning we're
That's
gonna turn back to his laws, statutes, and commandments, and we're gonna become fruitful. Right? We're gonna start bringing forth fruit because the law bringeth forth fruit in you, pertaining to Ecclesiasticus. It says that the law brings forth fruit in us. When we turn back to the laws, it brings forth fruit. We're gonna become fruitful again. That's because we're gonna keep the laws again. Verse 4, read.
God. Verse 4. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, said the Lord.
Read.
Verse 5. Behold, the day comes, said the Lord, that I will raise up David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth.
All right, that's talking about Yahweh, the word of God, man. All right, he's
That's
gonna
right.
raise up a king that reign and prosper and will execute judgment and justice in the earth. That's
That's
because
right.
this Bible is going to be the ruling power, the government, right? This is going to be our theocracy, man. We're not going to have a democracy or Republican or conservative, right? We're going to have a theocracy. That's a kingdom ran by the government of priests, right? It's going to be a government of priests. Verse 6, read.
Verse 6. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness.
Yahweh, our righteousness. Verse 7, read.
Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
Verse 7.
Verse 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Right. So then we're not going to be talking about the first Exodus anymore. We're going to be talking about what? Verse 8, read.
Verse 8. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
So we're not going to talk about the first Exodus no more. We're going to talk about when the Most High delivered us out of the north country and all the places where he scattered us at, man. And that's what we're ready for. That's what we're ready for. We're ready to be delivered from this shit show that we watching every day out here in Babylon, man.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is. It's a shit show, man. Watching the pastor spit in his hand, and it ain't just regular spit. It was like a loogie, like cold. He spit up in his hands and rubbed it on that man's face, man. That's
Hey,
nasty as
Shalaki
hell.
King.
Uh-huh.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Brother, I gotta share something with you. Again, please
Con.
bear with me for this. Oh man. I don't know, brother. This Michael Todd that you brought out tonight is on another level, man. Another level of wickedness altogether.
Mm.
Uh, Peep this that I'm about to share with you right here, man. This is beyond wicked. This is beyond wicked. Listen to this.
God decided male and female. No. I'm not, this is not a bad, I need y'all to hear my heart on this. This is not a bashing. This is not a, if I was there, maybe I would have told him, is there something in the middle you could do? Like kind of like a little maybe if somebody, well, I was born like this. I don't know how I feel. I feel you. And I wish that there was an option of other in the kingdom. I don't freaking know. I know, honestly, I wish God would have made it so much simpler and it was like A, B, C, or D, like frick. No, I'm serious. As a pastor, like, so what do you think about gay men? I don't know.
Wow.
A
Wow.
pastor says he doesn't know about gay marriage. He wished God had made A, B, C, D, more options for sexuality. And like you said, he's very effeminate. Um, this is beyond wickedness.
Con. He
I
clearly in
hand it over
violation
to you,
of
King. I hand
Leviticus.
it over to you.
He's clearly in violation of Leviticus, I want to say the 20th chapter, when they say man shall not lie with man. Um, that's they lawless. They completely lawless in them churches, man. And Christ hate that teaching. He hate the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, man, of the Nicolaitan. Lawless doctrines, lawless teaching. The Bible never said, come as you are. That's not in the Bible. Right? The Most High said all things must be done decently and in order. You supposed to show up to the congregation dressed in modest apparel, men in men clothing, women in women clothing, and that's that. You got to be in order. It don't say come as you are. Right? So these pastors are deliberately destroying our people, man, for financial gain. For financial gain. And the Most High is visiting upon the evil of their doings. He chin checking them niggas right now as we speak, man. But he's gonna make a public example out of this Michael Todd character because it's waxing worse and worse, man. I never thought I'd see the day where pastors would be accepting to wickedness, like blatantly. Even in the 90s, even in the 90s, they wasn't with, sodomy really in the churches like that. Now, some churches they allow effeminate men to teach in those churches or to be in those churches on the praise team and all that, but not like how it is now. You have transgenders that's pastors in churches now. You know what I'm saying? You have all gay churches. You have the Queen James Bible now with the rainbow cross on it. It's waxing worse and worse out here, man. So I pray the Most High continue to pull out people out them churches. I always tell my family, man, y'all stay out them churches, stay out them churches. And I know it sound crazy. It sound crazy as hell to tell somebody to stay out of a church. You know, but that's what must be done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a Queen James Bible. You could look it up. It's on Amazon. You could look it up. It's like $30, $20. Queen James Bible, man. All right. But these are the leaders of our people right now. Right? Yeah, the Most High not gonna talk about the first Exodus anymore. There you have it. There you have it. The Queen James Bible. And I think they removed the scriptures that go against homosexuality. So they removed Leviticus 20. They removed the book in Rome in the book of Romans where Paul say man laying with man, the women changing the natural use, right, that go against nature. They took all that out of the Queen James Bible. But
Hey,
yeah, it's a lot of
Shalaki
great.
King,
Uh-huh.
read the note to the bottom right there, homosexuality in the Bible.
All right, let me see. I'm trying to make it so I can see it. What it says, homosexuality in the Bible. Homosexuality was first mentioned in the Bible. Okay, Salakia. Was first mentioned in the Bible in 1946 in the Revised Standard. I can't see it. In the
Let me,
Revised
let,
Standard Version.
yeah, let me
Somebody
read
have to
it.
bring it up.
Homosexuality was first mentioned in the Bible in 1946. In the Revised Standard Version, there is no mention of or reference to homosexuality in any Bible prior to this. Only interpretations have been made. Anti-LGBT Bible interpretations commonly cite only 8 verses in the Bible that they interpret to mean homosexuality is a sin. 8 verses in the Bible, 8 verses in the book, sorry, of thousands. The Queen James Bible seeks to resolve the interpretive ambiguity in the Bible as it pertains to homosexuality. There is no perfect Bible translation, but we wanted one that could not be used to spread hate in the name of our faith. We edited those 8 verses in the way that makes homophobic interpretations impossible.
Look at that. Look at Satan working.
Fine.
And it's people that really believe in that. You know what I'm saying? It's Israelites that really believe in that. So-called blacks, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians that really believe in the Queen James Bible.
Said
You know what
Queen
I'm saying?
James. Salaki.
Yeah, Queen James.
Oh, I did not hear that part, man. Wow. They
Queen
is
Salakia.
really
James.
trying to go. Like, what?
Somebody say Salakia.
Khan, what about the scripture that speak on not taking anything away or adding to? That's a straight contradiction to what they did. I just wanted to bring that out.
Yeah, you add to the word or you take away from the word, you're gonna be destroyed. You know, you gotta deal with the Most High with that. They gotta deal with the Most High, man.
That's almost like
Uh,
double abomination. The lifestyle
Con,
already abomination, and then you're gonna be destroyed to do that as well. But the scriptures also talk about turning them over to their own lust and reprobate mind. So
Con. Go to let's get the book of Psalms 50 and 16. Cause our people we kind of disregard the word of the Most High, man. Our people disregard the word of the Most High. They basically cast his words to the ground, man. All right? That's disrespectful as hell. And then you have our people that's lost and weak-minded. They've been influenced by the world, by Babylon, by all these cartoons, all these sodomite cartoons that they play, um, sodomite music, sodomite artists, and then here you go with a sodomite Bible, right? That's blasphemy, man. Yeah, bring that out. Psalms 50 and 16.
God, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 16. Somebody got to say, Con.
Con.
Con. But unto the wicked, Yahweh said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou should have take my covenant in thy mouth?
Read.
Verse 17. Seest thou hated instruction, and casteth my words behind thee.
Right. So unto the wicked, the Most High say, what hast thou declared, Salaki, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? You wicked. Why you wicked as hell. Why are you bringing out scriptures? All right. You wicked as hell. Why are you creating Bibles? Right? Seeing thou hatest instruction, you hate the law. You hate that the Most High said, a man shall not lay with man like he do with a woman. You hate that. So you cast the words to the ground. You cast his words behind you. Right? Your lifestyle show hatred towards the Most High. Right? And the disregard for of his words show hatred towards the Most High. It don't matter what you say. Really, it don't matter what you say, but how you live speak louder to the Most High than what you say. You know what I'm saying? Your lifestyle speaks volume. So you could say, I love the Lord. These sodomites be like, yeah, I believe in God. I love God. But your lifestyle shows the Most High that you don't love him. And it's that simple, because if you love him, you're going to keep the commandments, man. And a big part of that rebellion and wickedness against the Most High is because our people hate instruction. They hate wisdom. They love the wisdom of this world.
That's right.
Right? Let's jump to the book of Psalms, chapter. Salaki, let's go to Proverbs, the first chapter. And we're going to start from the top. Proverbs chapter 1 from the top. Yeah, these people are despicable, man. They despicable.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 1. Somebody got it, say, Con. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel.
Read.
Verse 2. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding.
To know wisdom and instruction, right? That's what our people ultimately want. They want to know wisdom and they want to know instruction. They want to know the laws of God so they cannot offend, so they don't have to be judged, right? So they don't have to be punished. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. Our people want that wisdom. And the only way to get that wisdom is to fear the Most High. You got to fear the Most High. That's the beginning of wisdom. Verse 3, read.
To to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity.
Read.
Verse 4, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion.
Right. So we here to give subtlety to the simple. Whereas the pastors in the churches, they trying to deceive the hearts of the simple. They trying to deceive the hearts of the simple while we trying to give them subtlety, man. Right? We trying to give them knowledge, wisdom, and instructions, understanding, so they know how to move in these streets, so they don't get caught up with the affairs of this world. Right? To
That's
give
right.
subtlety to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. Right? You see our young men out here, they loud, they wearing all these bright ass colors, right? They flashy with no knowledge. So we trying to give them knowledge of the commandments and discretion. Hey man, be low key. Stay in the house, take care of your family, go to work, come home. You know what I'm saying? If you do any extra activities, do that. But be discreet out here in these streets, man. You don't want to be loud and seen all the time. That's how you get put to death. That's how you go to jail. Right? Verse 5, read.
Verse 5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels.
Right. So a wise man will hear and increase learning. Right? You're gonna hear the instructions that you was given, and you're gonna apply those instructions. That's how you increase learning, by application, by applying it. You're not just listening to it and just sitting on it. Oh yeah, I heard them say that, but I'm not gonna do what it say. No, you're gonna do what the law say. You're gonna do what the words say. That's how you increase learning. And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. So you're going to hearken to the wise counsel. You're going to apply those wise counsels to your life. Right? Verse 6, read.
Verse 6, to understand a proverb and the interpretations, the words of the wise and their dark sayings.
To understand a proverb, a metaphor, and the interpretation. All right, like when them rappers come with those crazy metaphors, you understand it, you get it, you get what they saying. The same with this truth. When you read these proverbs, when you read these lyrics, these songs, these poems, hey, you understand the interpretation. You know what King Solomon meant in Proverbs when he said certain things. You got a clear understanding. And it says in it, the words of the wise in their dark sayings, right? So sayings that go over people's heads, you kind of understand it because you in the spirit. You following the program that the Most High left for you. Verse 7, read.
Verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Right. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. And a lot of these pastors, they just don't have the knowledge. Why? Because
That's
they
right.
don't fear the Lord. They don't fear the Lord, man. They're not scared of the Most High. They're not scared to bite into that pork chop sandwich. They're not scared, right? But fools despise wisdom and instructions. Fools despise wisdom and instructions,
That's right.
right? That's a foolish thing to do. The fool have said in his heart, there is no God. Right? Fools despise wisdom and instruction. That goes for Michael Todd. That goes for Joel Osteen. Right? TD Snakes. Right? Creflo Dollar. All these pastors that's benefiting off of the ignorance of our people. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we need. We need to know wisdom and instruction. That's what our people need to be fed, wisdom and instruction. The pastor's just not feeding them that, man. Right? Go to let's jump to the 15th chapter, Proverbs 15, and let's get the 32nd verse.
Con. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and 32. Somebody got to say con. Con. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul. But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding.
Right. So he that refuseth or reject instruction, that word instruction goes into doctrine. All right. He that refuseth doctrine, and is in particular the doctrine of life, despiseth his own soul. All right. All that hate me love death. That's what the Most High say. All that hate me love death. Meaning you hate the doctrine of life, you love death, man. It's that simple. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, right? Instruction goes also into discipline, chastising, and correction, right? That's also goes into instruction. So it's important that you're able to follow instructions so you could function effectively across different environments. All right. When you follow instructions, okay, you follow the Most High's instructions. You're keeping the commandments. You're able to move in all these different type of environments or settings and still keep your life. Whereas if you reject the instructions and do your own will, that's how you get put to death, man. You go into these different environments around these different people and these different spirits, thinking you can do what you want to do, and the Most High turn you over to that reprobate mind. That's death. A reprobate mind is death, right? And people who reject wisdom, you hurt a lot of people off your ignorance, off your behavior when you reject wisdom. You hurt a lot of people, man, when you reject wisdom. But most importantly, you hurt yourself. You hurt yourself more than anybody else.
That's right.
When you reject wisdom. You know what I'm saying? That's the way the cookie crumble, man. But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. He that heareth correction and rebuke, you get an understanding. Okay, you know what? You're right. I've been messing up. You know, you're right. I could work harder at keeping this commandment. I could ask my job to take off on the Sabbath day. He that heareth reproof getteth for understanding. You know what? I can do it. And that's what it's about. Receiving correction, embracing that correction, and applying that correction or instruction.
That's
right. So let's jump to Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 33. Baba Kashar.
Said 33, King? I mean, you said what?
Yeah,
What?
Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 13. Salakia. Isaiah 5 and 13.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and 13. When somebody got to say con. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
Right. Therefore, my people have gone into captivity because they have no knowledge. They have no knowledge of the commandments. They have no knowledge of the faith in Christ. They have no knowledge of Torah. Right. They have no knowledge of the Old Testament. It's saying their honorable men are famished. Right. Michael Todd will be considered an honorable man, but he's famished. He has no bread of life. He has no bread of life. He's famished. And their multitude dried up with thirst. And the rest of the pastors and the leaders in our communities, they're dried up with thirst, meaning there's no living waters in them. They have no living water, right? And that's a dangerous situation, man. A nation of people whose honorable men are famished, that can't teach the people the ways of the Most High. That's a dangerous situation for a nation of people.
That's right.
Right? We're going into captivity because we lack knowledge. We have no knowledge. So we in continual sin. We in iniquity constantly because we don't know not to stop sinning. We don't know what sin is. You know, the definition of sin is in the Bible, but nobody ever gave us the definition of sin according to the word, right? So we are lost. We are destroyed. We in captivity. We have our oppressors ruling over us. We are subject to sin. We are slaves to committing sin, right? And it falls upon our leaders because they're not leading us in the right way. They are famished and dried up. So how can they save us? How can they deliver us? Right? Let's jump to the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 11. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 11.
Con, this is the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 11. Somebody got it, say con. Con. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sake, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground. Neither shall your vine.
Salakia King Malachi 3 and 11. Salakia.
Malachi chapter 3 and verse 11, right?
Con.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading, King.
That's what you was on. Hold on, I might be calling the wrong precept. Salakia. Salakia. It's Micah, my bad. Micah 3 and 11. Salakia. Micah 3 and 11.
Con. It's the book of Micah, chapter 3 and verse 11. Somebody got it, say con. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, it is not the Lord among us. None evil can come upon us.
Right. So the heads, the noblemen who are famished, right? They judge for reward. Right? They judge for reward. Not out of they don't judge righteous judgment. They judging for reward. Meaning, you know, a gift destroy the heart. The Most High say don't take gifts. So they judging for reward. They judging off of briberies. Whoever paying the most, they got respective persons for that person. They judge for reward. And the priests thereof teach for hire. They teaching for a check, man. They're not pulling up. They're not pulling up to teach unless they getting some money. I remember when T.D. Jakes first started out, really started making it big. They tried to get him somewhere in the South. I want to say either Texas or Atlanta. His congregation wanted him to come to their church, and he said he wasn't moving for nothing less than 30,000. And I want to say they gave him like 25 bands, you know, in hopes that he'll still show up. He wouldn't even show up because they didn't have the full amount. He wouldn't even go teach the people, even though he's not teaching them nothing. He wouldn't even go teach the people because they didn't have the full 30,000 that he requested. Right? And the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet they will lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us. They always say, ain't God in the building tonight? God is in the building tonight. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord ain't in there with them, man. They ain't even opening up their Bible. They dancing, they singing, they shouting, they speaking gibberish. And then they ask you to put money in the collection plate. And that's it. And they say none evil can come upon us. They feel like they in the spirit, that evil can't touch them, not knowing that they are wicked, not knowing that their actions are wicked. The children are wicked. The women are wicked. A bunch of lust, fornication, adultery going on in the church, man.
That's right.
But they say the Lord is not the Lord among us. None evil can come upon us because they not keeping no laws. They completely lawless in them, man. Verse 12, read.
Verse 12. Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps in the mountain of the house, as the high place of the forest.
Right. So the Most High cleaning us up. He plowing the field. He getting us ready, man. He gonna put us on high again. He gonna deliver us out of the hands of these damn dirty pastors, man. These wicked teachers, leaders of these congregations, these mega churches, right? These people are damn, they wicked as hell. Michael Todd, wicked, man. That's a wicked ass man, right? And he don't represent the Most High. He's not representing the Most High, man. He's representing Satan, right? Let's go to the book of Malachi, the second chapter, and the seventh verse.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 7. Somebody got to say, come. For the priest's lips shall keep knowledge, and they shall
Mm-hmm.
seek. And
You
they
got
should, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
right. So for the priest's lips should keep knowledge. That's knowledge of the commandments, knowledge of the law, knowledge of faith, knowledge of righteous judgment, right? A priest's lips should keep knowledge. Not pouring a syrup on the Bible, not performing circus acts in the middle of the damn church, man. And they should seek the law at his mouth. People should be able to come to the priest and ask questions pertaining to the law. Just like you go ask questions pertaining to the law in Esau society when you go to a lawyer. You go ask them questions about the law. The lawyer should be able to tell you about the law, right? And they should seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. He is the angel of the Lord of hosts, man. Leaders should be knowledgeable, right? They should be knowledgeable messengers of the Most High's word, right? Always, sharing knowledge, sharing information, always giving you insight pertaining to Torah, the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the do's and don'ts of Torah, man. The priest's lips should always keep knowledge. Verse 8, read.
Verse 8. But ye are departed out of the way. Ye have caused many to stumble at the law. Ye have corrupt the covenant of Levi, said the Lord of hosts.
Right, but our pastors are departed out the way, man. They're not walking with Satan now. They have departed out the way. Right? It said, ye have caused many to stumble at the law. Oh, you gotta keep the commandments no more. The Lord did away with the commandments. Just pray over your food before you eat it. You can make it clean. Pray over the shrimp, crab, and lobster when you go to Red Lobster after church on Sunday. It'll be clean. You know what I'm saying? You have caused many to stumble at the law. You have the covenant of Levi, said the Lord of hosts. Verse 9, read.
Verse 9. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people, according as ye have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the law.
Right. Therefore, I made you contemptible, meaning despicable, and base, meaning low before all the people. That's what to these pastors. He's making them base and despicable, bringing them down, right, before all the people. According as you have ways, but have been partial in the law. Yeah, they'll collect tithes. They'll keep the law of taking up tithes and offering, but they're not keeping no other laws. They partial in the law, right? And the prophet and priest in Malachi's day, they fell short, and the Most High held them in contempt, the same way he doing now with these dirty pastors. They falling short, and the Most High holding them in contempt, man. All right, because their job is to separate you from the Most High. That's what they ultimately want to do. They want to keep that disconnect. They want to keep that disconnect between you and the Most High. They're not trying to connect you to your power source, which is your heritage, which is this word, which is your H.O.I. They want you to stay disconnected.
Salakia,
Right?
King.
Khan.
Khan, I just want to ask the viewers that if you not saying Salakia, please keep your phone on mute. It's causing me to be confused. I'm thinking somebody saying Salakia or, you know what I'm saying? Just please keep your phone on mute.
Khan. Keep your phones on mute. Not walking. All right, keep your phones on mute. If you unmute, say Salakia, that's fine. But if you're not speaking or you're not asking no question. Khan. So yeah, man, that's what we dealing with. That's what we dealing with at the moment. And yeah, we can get on these pastors all day, man. I got precepts all day getting on these pastors, man. It's nothing. The Most High is constantly rebuking these wicked pastors in these wicked churches, right? And they waxing worse and worse, worse and worse. All right, somebody need to kind of revoke Michael Todd's microphone or position in that church because he running people out the church, but that's promise. He running people out the church. Even when you read the comments on these videos that they show of him of this display or the circus acts that he got, you see a lot of shunning it, going against it, which is a beautiful thing. Meaning people are waking up to the BS. Right. So I'm gonna move on to the next portion of the class, just going into some information dealing with Yahushua, dealing with Moses, and dealing with Joseph. The head tribes of Ephraim, Joseph, the father of Ephraim and Manasseh. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 37. I'm gonna leave out real quick and come right back in, Akim.
God.
Yeah, go ahead and read that scripture he called, King.
God. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 37. Somebody got to say Khan. Khan. And the things was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants and all his servants.
Right. So I came here because Joseph was made governor over Egypt. Now we on a whole different topic now. Joseph was made governor over Egypt, right? A lot of our people, when we in captivity, for some reason, our people always kind of excel to the top, even in captivity. All right, because we the salt of the earth, man. We the Most High's children. So our people, even in captivity, you have some powerful Israelites that succeed and make it to the top in that kingdom, right? Joseph, he made it to be the governor over Egypt, right? So it says, and the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. Verse 38, read.
Verse 38. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is? A man in whom the Spirit of God is.
Right. You hear Pharaoh? Pharaoh speaking, man. He's spitting. Right? Pharaoh in the spirit right now. Can we find such a one as this is? A man in whom the spirit of the Most High is? Verse 39, read.
God. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God has showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art.
Right. So Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, is exalted Joseph. Now remember, Joseph was thrown into slavery by his brothers, right? By the children of Israel. They threw him into slavery. They sold him into slavery. You know, he went through a lot of afflictions, a lot of fiery trials, but he excelled. He was released from prison for giving the vision to Pharaoh, for interpreting his dream, and he climbed to the top. Right, what they say in today's world, that corporate ladder. He climbed up that corporate ladder. Right, verse 40. Read.
God, thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be great than thou. I mean, greater than thou, Salaki.
Right, so Pharaoh made Joseph second in command. Right, he said, "Thou shalt be over my house. According to thy word shall all my people be ruled." So Joseph went from being a slave in Egypt to second in command under Pharaoh. Right, verse he said, Salaki, he said, "And only in the throne will I be greater than thou." So that's showing that Pharaoh was going to be on top and Joseph was a rank right underneath him. Verse 41, read.
God. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt.
Read.
Verse 42. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his head and put it upon Joseph's head. I mean hand. And the rain him vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck.
Right, so the Pharaoh says, "See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt." Right, so Joseph went from a lower state. He was in the dust. He was in captivity. Right, but he still continued to serve the Most High with all his heart, mind, and soul, and the Most High exalted him. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand. Right, because that was a sign of accomplishment or a sign of reward from the Pharaoh. Right, and it said, "And arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck." Right, meaning it was like he got a record deal. You know how the record producers, they kind of give you jewelry, they ice you out, give you a chain, but this wasn't no record deal though. Right, this wasn't no record deal, but it was something like it because they iced them out. The same way they did Daniel when Daniel became president. Right, the same way they did Daniel, he put a gold chain about his neck, gave him some jewelry. All right, let's get that in Daniel, the 5th chapter, in the 29th verse. Daniel chapter 5 and verse 29. Yeah, because our people, somehow, some way, even in the midst of captivity, we kind of make it to the top still. Yeah, bring that out, King.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 5 and verse 29. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him.
Proclamation.
God, I couldn't pronounce it.
You got
I
it. You
still
got
can't pronounce it. What you just said. So
God.
concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom.
Right. So after Daniel, was able to interpret the writings on the wall, right? He interpreted the writings on the wall, and he foretold the judgment and the destruction of the city. They made him the third ruler in the kingdom, right? In Babylon, right? So Daniel was rewarded and he became president. He was really the first black president. But even in captivity, he climbed his way to the top through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because they were serving the Most High with all their heart, mind, and soul, and he put them in a position of power, right? And that's always been a thing for our people. You know, Joseph was made governor over Egypt. Daniel was made president. Moses, he was a prince over Egypt. You know what I'm saying? And the same with our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua. He's the governor, and the government gonna be on his shoulders. Right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 41 and verse 42. Genesis chapter 41 and verse 42. We got to look at the similitudes dealing with these different men of the Most High that was in a position of power. And we got to connect the dots. Look at the similitude and connect the dots.
God. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 42. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck.
Read.
And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bowed the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt.
Right. Made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. Now you got to put in perspective too, man. Being in slavery, right? Being betrayed by your own family, by your own brothers, and left for dead. They wanted to kill him. Right? They really wanted to kill him, but they couldn't. Right? The Most High didn't allow that, but they threw him away like garbage. And this man is, you know how painful that got to be. Being betrayed by your own family members. It's different than when your opposition betray you. It's different. It don't hurt when your true enemy do something evil towards you. It don't hurt you that much because you know that's your enemy. You expect that from them. But from your own brothers, you don't expect that. You know what I'm saying? They was envious, they was jealous because he was the favorite. Right? Joseph was the favorite out of the 12. Right? But this man went through all kind of hardship, and for him to excel to the top, to become ruler, second in command over Egypt, being an Israelite, right? Being a Hebrew Israelite in the land of Hamitic people, coming into a position of power, that's extreme, man. That's very extreme. It's nothing for the Most High to take a poor man and make him rich. And we gotta understand that, because that could be for any one of us. And he's already done that to us in a sense. You know what I'm saying? As far as taking us from our lower state, and now we're rich in faith now. We're wealthy. We're rich in faith now. We're not living the life that we used to live. We're not in our dung, rolling around in our filth. We're not doing that no more. So he done took us out of that dunghill and set us on high now, the same way he did for Joseph. Right? Let's jump to Genesis 42 and verse 6. The Most High is very powerful, man. Powerful to be able to put somebody that was at the bottom like that in a position of power, and got men of the other nations bowing down to him. Right? Genesis 42 and 6.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 42 and verse 6. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their face to the earth.
Right, and his own brethren, the 12 tribes, the rest of the tribes, right, came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. So even his brothers had to bow down to him, man. And he said that they would. That's why they was kind of upset too, because he had a dream that his brethren and his father was gonna bow down to him. And they got upset over that dream. That dream is what got him put into slavery. That's why they put him into slavery, because he had that vision. But that vision was fulfilled because that vision was of the Most High. All right, where the tribes had to bow down to their brethren. Right, and the same thing gonna happen with our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua. The tribes, all the tribes, gonna bow down to Judah, man. Right, they're gonna bow down to Judah the same way they bowed down to Joseph. Right? Let's jump to the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 6, because Joseph was governor over the land of Egypt. Right? Joseph was governor over the land of Egypt. That was an Israelite being a governor over the land of the house of bondage. Right? Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 6. For unto us a child is born, and to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Right, for us to a child is
The
born.
Prince of Peace, Salaki again.
The Prince of Peace, Khan. For unto us a child is born, unto us a sign is given, and the government shall be on his shoulders. Because Yahushua is a governor as well, the same way Joseph was the governor over the land of Egypt, right? But the Most High going to allow his son's government is going to be a theocracy, right? Where it's ruled by a nation of kingdom and priests. Priests going to rule. Instead of having presidents, Democrat and Republic, you're going to have priests that's in that stead, right? That's servants of the Most High. Verse 7, read.
Verse 7. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this.
Khan, so of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. Right? So Yahushua's government is going to always increase knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, riches, wealth, right? People. It's always going to increase. And peace is always going to increase in the land as well. Right? We're going to be in New Jerusalem, ruling, having dominion over the whole earth, right? With our governor being Yahushua, with the ruler being Yahushua. Right? The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this, man. It's going to happen. We just got to be patient and keep the commandments. We got to stick to the code, to the G code, to this word, to the laws, right? Let's jump back to Genesis chapter 45 and verse 3. Genesis chapter 45 and verse 3.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 45 and verse 3. And Joseph said unto his brother, I am Joseph. Does my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence.
Right. So this part of the story is when, you know, they all was made aware that that was their brother that they put in slavery, and they were scared, right? Joseph wanted to know if his father was still alive because he haven't seen his father in so long, and he loved his dad, right? He loved Jacob, so he asked him, "Do my father still live?" Right? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. They were shocked. It's like seeing a ghost, right? They thinking that they sold him into slavery. They were sure he was going to be killed by the oppressors while he was in slavery. And now he's in rulership, right? That's because he keeping the laws, he keeping the faith. The Most High put him in rulership. He still had dominion, right? And they was troubled at his presence. Verse 4, read.
Verse 4. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. He said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt.
Right. They sold their own brother into Egypt. That's an Israelite selling another Israelite into slavery. It happened. Right. Verse 5.
Verse 5. Now therefore, be not grieved, nor angry with yourself, that ye sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life.
Right. Because Joseph had knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. He had that understanding, right? He had that fear of the Most High. He knew what was going on. He attained unto wise counsel. He stayed in the word, right? So he knew that he didn't want his brothers to be grieved or angry with themselves, but to look at it from another light, right? The Most High sent him into slavery and then put him in a position of power, so he's able to preserve his brother's life, right? Verse 6, read.
Verse 6. For these 2 years had the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years, in the which there shall neither be earing nor harvest.
All right, read.
Verse 7. And God sent me before you to preserve you and prosperity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance.
Right. So, and the Most High sent me before you to preserve you and posterity. And
Prosperity.
posterity is it means future generations, right? So he had to preserve the tribes and the future generations in the earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So Joseph was a savior, right? He was a savior to the children of Israel, right? He was a savior to the children of Israel. A famine hit the land, and he was raised up to be a ruler in Egypt just to save and preserve the seed of the 12 tribes, man. That's heavy, right?
So lucky,
That's heavy.
King.
Gone.
Yeah, just bear with me, man. I've been up since 7 o'clock. I'm standing up facing the east reading right now, man. So just bear with me, man.
Con, I'm bearing with you, King. Con, you doing a
Hey,
mighty job.
God, man. I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie to you, King. For real.
You doing a mighty job, man.
Hey, man.
I got
It's through the will of the Lord, man. All praises, man.
through the strength and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Shimon Mashiach, I was shot.
The symbol of Mashiach Yahushua. Con, the water again, King. The water again. All right. So everything that happened to Joseph, you know, it wasn't for his destruction. Even though in the beginning it could seem that way, he didn't put him into slavery to destroy him. He put him in slavery to build him up and raise him out of the dunghill, right? Because all things work for the good to those that love the Most High, man.
God.
Right? Let's get that in Romans, the 8th chapter, in the 28th verse. No matter what you're going through, if you have this understanding that all things work for the good for those that love the Most High, hey, you're gonna be all right, man. Even when fiery trials present themselves, even when affliction and tribulation present itself, you already know in your heart, mind, and soul that all this is gonna work out because I love the Most High. I love the Most High. I'm keeping His commandments. I'm doing everything that I can to the best that I can to prove my love to Him. So it's gonna work out either way. It don't matter. It's gonna work out. All right. So no matter what you're going through, if you're going through a rough time, a bump in the road, just know everything is going to work out for your good and not for your demise. Romans chapter 8 and verse 28.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God. To them who are the called according to his purpose.
Right. And Paul was able to say that because he read the accounts in Genesis. He read the accounts in Exodus, in the book of Joshua, in Jeremiah and the prophets. He's saying we all know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High. Right? So all things work together for the good. Even when bad circumstances present themselves, it's to build you up. It's to purge out those impurities, to burn out those impurities, man. All right. And in the end, everything is gonna work out. All right. And it say to them who are called according to his purpose. Joseph was called according to the purpose of the Most High. Right. And the same with Moses. Right. Moses was high ranked in Egypt, just like Joseph. All right. Moses was the prince in Egypt. And Moses spent his first 40 years in Egypt thinking he was an Egyptian. All right. He was living as an Egyptian. He thought he was an Egyptian. He was living like a Gentile. Moses was living like a Gentile in Egypt for 40 years. Right. And then he woke up to his heritage, to his nationality. He woke up to who he was. And then he spent years, he spent 40 years being a shepherd in Midian. Right. So he was asleep for 40 years. He woke up in his 40s when he was 40 years old. And then he spent his life as a shepherd in Midian for 40 years. And then the Most High called Moses to go back to Egypt to lead the children of Israel to the promised land. And that's when he was 80 years old. So he woke up at 40. Then he spent 40 years being a shepherd, learning the word, getting built up in the spirit to go back to Egypt at 80 to go deliver his people out of Egypt. Right? Let's go to the book of Exodus, the second chapter in the 14th verse.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 14. He said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me, as thou killest Salakia, as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known.
Right. So at 40 years old, Moses being the prince of Egypt, he was well known. He was a renowned man in Egypt. Right. And he had his own people in subjection. He had the Israelites in subjection because he thought he was an Egyptian. Right. But he found out that he was a Hebrew Israelite and that his people was the ones being oppressed. So he slew an Egyptian that was beating one of his brothers, that was harming one of his brothers. And some Israelites saw it, right? Some Israelites saw him murder this Egyptian and he fled, right? But before he fled, he seen two Israelites get into an altercation. He saw them getting into an altercation. So he stopped them. He like, hey man, what y'all doing? They say, oh, who made you a judge over us? Who made you a prince and a judge over us? You know the mentality of Israel. Nigga, who is you? Right? You don't rule over us. You're not a judge over us. But they don't know that the Most High set Moses up. That's who made him a ruler and a judge over y'all. Right? It say, intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? Now that's one thing about our people. They gonna throw something up in your face, man. You gotta be prepared for that. You gotta be prepared for, somebody in your family or friends to throw something up in your face. Right? It say, and Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. right? So Moses, he was called and chose to be a prince and a judge over the nation of Israel. Moses was a deliverer and a savior, but he was rejected by wicked Israelites, right? That was his first time being rejected by his own people. And he wasn't even, he wasn't even mighty in the word like that yet. But he was already chosen and he was already beginning to be rejected by his own people. He trying to stop them from killing each other, and they throwing some up in his face about him slaying the Egyptians, saving his brethren. Right? So Moses was a deliverer and a savior, but he was rejected by wicked and ungodly Israelite men. Right? Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 20. So like Acts chapter 7 and verse 25. Acts chapter 7 and verse 25.
All right. This is the book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 25. For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that God by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not.
Right, that's talking about Moses, right? These two men that were fighting, they had hopes of being delivered. All right, they had hopes of being delivered, but they didn't know how they was going to be delivered. You know what I'm saying? The Israelites had hope in that 400 years worth of slavery in Egypt. They had hopes of being saved, but they didn't know how. They understood not. Verse 26, read.
Verse 26. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren. Why do ye wrong one to another?
Right. So this is speaking of the account we just read in Exodus 2 and 14, when the two men was striving against each other, and Moses, he intervened, and they questioned him like, hey, who made you a prince and a judge over us? So it kind of go in detail. It say the next day Moses showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren. Right? You supposed to love each other. Y'all neighbors, what y'all doing? Why do ye wrong one another? Why do ye wrong one to another? Verse 27, read.
Verse 27. But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, Who made thee a ruler and a judge over us?
Right. So the one out of the two that's striving together against each other, right? The one that was doing the neighbor wrong, the one that was being wicked, he's the one that actually said, who made thee a ruler and a judge over us? Right? The one that was being wicked. Who made thee a ruler and a judge over us? Nigga, who is you? Right? Jump down to verse 35.
Verse 35. This Moses, whom they refused, saying, Who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did God send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush.
Right. So while they scoffing, right, asking Moses, hey, who made thee a ruler and a judge over us? They scoffing because they didn't understand that Moses was their damn savior, man.
God,
Right? The same did the Most High send to be a ruler and a deliverer. This man that you questioning is the man that's gonna save your life out of this rigorous bondage that you in. Right? The least esteemed in the church. Right? And it says, by the hand of the angel which appeared unto him in the bush. Right? Verse 36, read.
verse 36. He brought them out. After that, he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the
Mm-hmm.
wilderness 40 years.
Right. So he showed them signs and wonders for 40 years. So he woke up. He woke up at 40 years old in Egypt. He was living like a Gentile, serving the gods of the Egyptians. Then he woke up to the truth that his true power lies in Yahweh, right? In Yahweh Shah. He woke up to that. He left Egypt for 40 years. He came back and he delivered his people. And he took them through the wilderness for another 40 years, right? Because he died at the age of 120 years old, right? Verse 30, verse 37, read.
Verse 37. This is that Moses, which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brother, like unto me, him shall ye hear.
Right. And Moses is prophesying to the children of Israel about the rise of the Messiah, man. The Heavenly Father is about to send his only begotten son down here to give you a better interpretation of my laws. Because y'all not going to understand these laws. Y'all not going to be able to interpret these laws correctly throughout time. It's going to come a time where y'all interpretation is tainted, and he's going to have to send his only begotten son to reinterpret these laws for you, because you're going to forsake the way. All right? A prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren like unto me, him shall ye hear. Right? Because he know that Moses was in the spirit. He know that we was going to regenerate. Right? Everybody he was talking to, of the children of Israel was going to regenerate and have to hear Yahushua. Right? Let's jump to Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 15. Because Moses was a prophet. He was prophesied. Right?
Time. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 15. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, unto him ye shall hearken.
Read.
Verse 16. According to all that thou desire of the Lord thy God in Herah or Herb,
Or
Salaki, if I'm Salaki, in the
Khan.
day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not.
Right. So our people were spooked. They were scared of the Most High. All right. They feared the Most High greatly. Verse 17, read.
Verse 17. And the Lord said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken.
Read.
Verse 18. I will rise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
Read.
Verse 19. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him.
Right. So the Most High in using Moses to speak about the coming of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua. Right. He's gonna raise up a prophet among your brethren, and he's gonna put his words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. All right, meaning Yahushua gonna speak, thus said the Lord. He's not gonna speak his own feelings. He's not gonna speak his own doctrine. Right? He gonna speak, thus said the Lord. If it ain't coming out the word, Yahushua not speaking. Right? He's speaking, thus said the Lord. And it said, and it shall come to pass, whosoever will not hearken unto my words, meaning this Bible, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. Right? Just like the pastors in them churches. Right? They not hearkening to the words that Christ speak in these scriptures. They're not hearkening. So he's going to require it of him, right? A lot of our people don't believe the words of Christ. They don't believe in the Bible, period. But it's going to cost them, right? It's going to cost them salvation, and it's going to cost them deliverance, right? It's going to cost them eternal life, right?
Right.
They didn't. A lot of Israelites didn't even believe Moses when he said this. They didn't hearken to this prophecy, right? They was probably back there murmuring. Some of them was back there murmuring. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the hell this nigga think he is, man? Who died and made him king? You know what I'm saying? Just murmuring. But the Most High already said that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. Right? The same way Moses is speaking the words in the name of the Most High, people not listening. And the Most High got to require it of them. Right? Let's jump to the book of John, chapter 5, and verse 46. The book of St. John, chapter 5, and verse 46.
This is the book of John, chapter 5, and verse 46. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me.
Right. So now this is the time when Yahushua was in the flesh on earth. Right. For had ye believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. Right. So Moses was a prophet who prophesied about our Lord Yahushua. Right. And about being obedient to the doctrine of Yahushua, because it was really the doctrine of the Most High. Right. Verse 47, read.
Verse 47. But if ye believe not his writing, how shall ye believe my words?
Right. So if you don't believe Torah, how you going to believe Christ's words? If you don't believe Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, how you going to believe Yahushua's words? Right? Because it's a lot of similitudes between Moses and Yahushua. Right? So during the time of Moses, Pharaoh had ordered the mass killing of Israelite babies, man. Right? That was under the age of 2 years old and younger. When you go to Exodus 1 and 15, and I believe you read down to the 18th verse, it goes into how Pharaoh put out the decree of killing all the sons, right? All the Israelite, Hebrew Israelite sons. The midwives was to put them to death, but they refused to hearken to Pharaoh because they feared the Lord, right? So they saved the babies. They saved some of the babies, right? So to connect that with Christ during the time of Yahushua's birth, King Herod ordered the mass killing of Israelite babies, male babies under the age of two and under. Right? That's the connection with Moses and Yahushua. Right? Moses came up out of Egypt to redeem his people. The same way Yahushua came up out of Egypt to redeem his people. Because Yahushua, when he was born, after he had that price tag on his head when he was a baby, he had to flee into Egypt. And then he came out of Egypt at a certain period of time, and he came out because he had to deliver his people. Right? That's why he said, for had ye believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. Moses' story is similar. It's a similitude to Yahushua's story. Right? It's a similitude. You know what I'm saying? Moses, he initiated the first Passover, right? To absorb the wrath of the Most High, they had to sacrifice a lamb, right? And then now here you go. You got Yahushua. He the sacrificial lamb. We're covered in the blood of Christ now. He's that protection from the destruction now, right? Had you believed Moses' writings, you would believe me, right? And it's a lot more similitudes between Moses and Yahushua. It's a lot more similitudes. right? So let's jump to the book of St. John, the 19th chapter and the 12th verse. The book of St. John, the 19th chapter and the 12th verse. And we'll close out real soon after we get a few more precepts, about 3 more precepts, we'll close out.
Con, it's the book of John, chapter 19, and you say verse 12, King?
Con, verse 12.
Con. And from thenceforth, Pilate sought to release him. But the Jews cried out, saying, If thou let this man go, thou art not Caesar's friend. Salaki. Whosoever maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar.
Right. So that's basically the Israelites, right? The Jews, right? Saying the same thing that they said to Moses. Who made you a prince and a judge over us? Right? They told Pilate, right? They said, if you let this man go, you ain't Caesar's friend. Israel crazy as hell. They said, if you let this man go, you ain't Caesar's friend. Right? And then they're gonna say, whosoever making himself a king speak against Caesar. So Yahushua was the king of the Jews, and they know him to be the king of the Jews. But they say, if any man making himself a king speak against Esau, right? You make yourself a king in this society, you speak against Esau, Edom, because that's who Caesar was, right? Caesar was Esau, Edom. Verse 13, read.
God, when Pilate therefore
Pilate,
heard that saying, he brought Yahushua forth and sat down in the judgment seat in a place that is called the pavement, but in the Hebrew, Gabbatha.
read.
14, verse 14. And it was preparation of the Passover in about the 6th hour. And he said unto the Jews, Behold, your king.
All right, and for preparation for the Passover, about the 6th hour, that will be about 3 o'clock. No, Salaki, that would be about 9 o'clock in the morning. No, Salaki. The third hour is 9 a.m. The 6th hour is 12 p.m. That would be noon. About the 6th hour, that's noon. And he said unto the Jews, Behold, your king. Verse 15, read.
Verse 15. But they cried out, Away with him, away with him, crucify him. It's like you crucify him. Pilate said unto them, Shall I crucify your king? The chief priests answered, We have no king but Caesar. Dang.
Right. So they wanted to do away with our Lord Mashiach Yahushua because it had to be done. He had to be sacrificed for the sins of the nation. You know, it was cruel, but it had to be done. And the chief priest answered and said, We have no king but Caesar. We have no king but Esau, basically is what he was saying. Right? Who died, Salaki, not who died, but who made you judge and ruler over us? The same thing that they was asking Moses back in Egypt. Who made you judge and ruler over us, man? We have no king but Caesar. Right? In Egypt, they like, we ain't got no king but Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Uh,
same. It's the same similitude. Israel been doing the same thing for millennia, man. Right? Yahushua is rejected the same way Moses was rejected. You know what I'm saying? Our people didn't want Moses ruling over them. When you read number 16, you got Korah and his company. They rising up against Moses. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High had to destroy them. He opened up the earth and swallowed them up because they was trying to break rank. They was trying to break order. The Most High set up Moses to deliver and save them, but they wanted to be the deliverers and the saviors, but they wasn't fit for the job, right? The same with Yahushua. Yahushua was the deliverer and the savior, and they say we ain't got no king but Caesar, man. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 53 and 3. Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 3.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 53. And hold on. So Salakia, can I take a pause? I gotta go use the bathroom. I ain't gonna.
Con. I'll bring it out.
Salakia, King. I'm
Yep.
sitting here with the phone on the charger, it's dying. If I take it off, it's over with.
All right. I got you, King.
All praises, King. Salakia.
All praises. Take your time. Take your time. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 53 and verse 3. And it reads, He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not. Right? So Yahushua, he was despised and rejected of men. Right? The same way Moses was despised and rejected of men. The same way Joseph was despised and rejected of men. His own brothers despised him and rejected him. Right? Joseph. Right? Moses, his own brethren despised and rejected him. And Christ as well. They was despised and rejected of men. A man of sorrows. And it wasn't ungodly sorrows, it was godly sorrows. And acquainted with grief. And acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we did esteem him not. We didn't praise him. Right? Let's jump to the book of John, chapter 5 and verse 8. John chapter 5 and verse 8. And it's gonna be the last precept, but we're gonna read down to verse 18.
This is the book of John, chapter 5 and verse 8. Yahushua said unto him, Rise, take up thy bed and walk.
Read.
Verse 9. And immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath.
Read.
Verse 10. The Jews therefore said unto him, that was cruel. Salakia. It is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed.
Read.
He answered them, He that made me whole, the same said unto me, Take up thy bed and walk.
Read.
Then asked they him, What man that which said unto thee, Take up thy bed and walk? Verse 13. And he that was healed wist not who it was, for Yahushua had conveyed himself away, a multitude being in that place.
Read.
Afterward, Yahushua finding him in the temple, and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee.
All right, so transgress the laws of God no more, unless a worse thing come unto thee. Read.
Verse 15. The man departed and told the Jews that it was Yahushua which had made him whole. Verse
Read.
16. And therefore did the Jews persecute Yahushua and sought to slay him because he had done these things on the Sabbath day.
Right, so the Pharisees and the scribes and the Jews, they would always accuse Yahushua of breaking the Shabbat by performing miracles and healing people. But there's nowhere in the law that says that you can't heal people on the Sabbath day. All right, that's not one of the stipulations or rules for the Sabbath day to not heal anybody. So they was, going off the doctrines of men. All right. Verse 17, read.
Verse 17. But Yahushua answered them, my Father worketh hitherto, and I work.
Right. So Yahushua answered them, my Father worketh here too, and I work. We're not supposed to work on the Sabbath day, but that's talking about servile work. All right. We're not supposed to work for our jobs, pay work for hire on the Sabbath day. We're not supposed to do that. But you could put in work, right? You could put in work for the ministry. You can put in work by laboring at camp. You could put in work by healing people, healing sicknesses, right? You could put in that type of work, but you can't put in servile work. And they didn't have that understanding. That's why Christ came to interpret the law again, because we lost our way. All right, we lost our way. Our people thought that you could not heal on the Sabbath day. They thought that was transgressing the laws of God, but that's not true. Right? Verse 18, read.
Verse 18. Therefore the Jews sought the more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that God was his father, making himself equal with God.
Right, and that's simply not true. Right? They sought to kill him because Yahushua was despised and rejected of men. They hated Yahushua. They hated the spirit that was in him because it was truly of the Father. Right? They say he had not only broken the Sabbath, which they bear false witness, because he didn't break the Sabbath, but said also that God was his father, making himself equal with God. So how can you say that the Most High is my father and that's making yourself equal with the Most High? It's not, right? It's not. When you go to Psalms 82 and 6, it says, I said ye are gods, and then it says, meaning that you are the children of the Most High. Ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Right? Just because he said God was his father, that did not make him equal with the Most High. They was coming up with their own interpretations that didn't have nothing to do with what the word said. Right?
Shalakia King. You said that was
Uh-huh.
Psalms 82 and 6?
Psalms 82 and 6.
Uh,
Bring it out if you can.
uh,
Yeah, if I say my father Isaac is my father, if I say Isaac is my father, that don't make me equal with my father. Right? That don't make me equal with my father. I'm just letting you know that, hey, that's my father, that's my dad. Right? The same with Christ. I don't know how they heard that he was equal with God, making himself equal with God by saying that he's the son of God. It don't make sense.
uh, the
Yeah,
book of
Psalm
Psalms.
82. Uh,
Shalakia King.
you got it. Psalm 82 and 6.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
Yeah, ye are
God.
gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Ye are
God.
gods, little g, right? You are powers, and ye are all children of the Most High. So if he say the Most High is his father, that should be the mentality of every Hebrew Israelite across the globe, man, across the firmament.
That's right.
Right? The Most High is our Father. We're not making ourselves equal with the Most High by saying He's our Father. But that was the fall away of the children of Israel with understanding. Their understanding was completely taken away from them because they was living in sin.
God.
But the Most High raised up Yahushua the same exact way He raised up Joseph, right? The same way He raised up Moses and several other prophets in the scriptures to convey his message. You know what I'm saying? They all was renowned men. They was renowned men. Christ was a regular man, right? Was an average man performing miracles, and people started to call him the King of the Jews because he was truly the King of the Jews, man. You know what I'm saying? So
God.
the pastors in these churches they teaching false doctrines, right? They putting on these circus acts, but they not feeding our people with the living waters or the bread of life that they need to sustain, right? So it's always a refresher to hear brothers and sisters that's in this truth bring out passages that you don't really hear in the churches. You don't hear them going into Moses, or you don't hear them going into Joseph. You don't hear them going into the dark sands of Yahushua. You don't hear none of that in the churches. You getting a show, man. You getting entertained. You getting a performance, a concert. Um, I just seen a clip earlier of Michael Todd. I think it was last Easter. It was last Easter. He had a concert at his church, and it looked like a damn rap R&B concert. Women in there dressed provocative. They twerking in there. Now this at a church. This at a church. This is inside of a church.
God.
I don't know if the elder's still on. If you could pull that video of Michael Todd um Easter service. It's a clip where they having a show, a concert, and they in there twerking, man. They in there twerking. Just like just like this one church for New Year's, they had a New Year's service. Everybody was in there singing swag surf. They was in there rapping hip hop songs, man. In the church, secular music in the church. It's madness, man. It's madness. So
at Transformation Church on April the 9th, 2023. The production titled Ransom has been causing quite a stir, and I'm here to break it all down for you. So let's go ahead and get started.
15, I became the pastor, and I didn't know what a pastor did. And so I was meeting with a group of people, and they was like, what should we do for Easter? I was like, I've never preached the Easter message, so I'm not going to start this year. We need to come up with an Easter play. And they was like, all right, let's do it. I said, but it can't be no whack, raggedy, he got up. Like, it just cannot be that. Okay, y'all gonna act like I'm the only one that saw, like, oh, yay. That was good. Like, I was like, it's gotta move people. And I really wanted to be focused on people who don't know God or are far from Him. Because, like, usually Easter is like where we come to cheer with the people who already are on the team. That's called practice. Let me stop. I want to go after the people who haven't signed up to play the game yet. I want the person who feels lonely and isolated and like God doesn't care. I want them to see how amazing Jesus actually is and what God actually did for all of us. So I said, we're going to go to the edge on this. And they said, Pastor, how far on the edge are we going to go? I said, we're going to do everything short of sin. Oh, y'all suck.
Ransom is an hour-long high-production play put on by Transformation Church, led by Pastor Mike Todd. The show aims to retell the story of God rescuing mankind, but it has been criticized for being a little too worldly. Let's take a closer look at what's causing the controversy.
So sick and filthy with envy, I can't free a tell me. Jimmy out, I'm getting to the money. Everybody back. I think I'm getting too much money. Everybody back.
As we were saying, Dragon, this is what you need to do. Step 1, find you a baddie. Okay. But step 2, she gotta have a fatty. Hey. Take a little something. Hey. Yeah. Look back at it. Uh-oh. What is she doing? Friends, I don't have a fatty. True. Girl, we keep telling you it's okay. Your little booty matter too, friend. Y'all know they don't be discriminating.
Again, so he decided to send his only son, the great knight of Havania, to save her.
Salakia, King. Yeah, that man crazy as hell, man. That looked like the Grammys performance or something. Demonic, satanic. That's crazy. But yeah, that's what we up against, man. Our people are distracted by the folly, by the madness, by the foolishness of these churches, man. And you know, like I said, it's a refresher for brothers and sisters to get the correct doctrine and really tap into the scriptures and read and meditate and be around like-minded people that's really serving the Most High in truth and sincerity, man. So that concludes the class for tonight. You know, I hope brothers and sisters took notes. I hope y'all was edified. You know, like the elder always say, if you learned one thing, I done my job.
Hey,
you know,
Shalaki King. Just gonna share one more video of church performance.
Okay, Khan.
Her ass is all hanging out, and she's telling everybody to take it. Well, what are they actually taking?
Right. This is folly.
Yeah.
Lust, adultery, fornication. Lust, adultery, and fornication. That's what's going on up in there. Diseases.
Man, that's crazy.
This is crazy indeed. This is Christianity for you, man. I yield.
She up there with
burn the damn place down.
He gonna burn it down. She up there with her cheeks out singing gospel song.
Dancing, trying to make it move. Like, girl, what shit?
You are blessed. You are blessed. You are blessed.
That's
Is
crazy.
this the outfit that you wear? Is this modest apparel?
Nope. La.
Is anything modest about this? This is crazy. This is what the church has become right now, man. This is what they consider worshiping the Most High God of heaven and earth. This is how you can come before Him and say you're worshiping Him. This is crazy, dude. This is real crazy. But this is the Christian church, man.
King. This is why the Messiah said he can't dwell in these things, man. You know, he's slowly compelling his true saints out of there. So, you know, if you get caught in there, man, you're going to get caught in that rapture regardless, man.
I mean, everybody coming to get prayer from her after. She's telling them to take it. Right? I mean, literally her ass is hanging out. And she's on the stage jiggling her body. Look how her legs is open. I mean,
she got on stripper apparel.
She got on stripper clothes.
Man,
saying the Holy Spirit moving
she
in
is
there.
naked, man. She is naked in church.
Madness.
That's what it's all about right now. As you tell your people, man, stay out of the churches. You really, I mean, come on, man. You send your daughter to these places. What they coming back home doing? This is how they're gonna be dressing.
The pastor did it. The lady at church did it. All these damn pastors, sodomites.
They deceiving the hearts of the simple, man.
Her stomach out, her titties out, her ass out, everything showing. You know, this is how you dress, not in the streets.
Yeah, that don't look like a church performance at all, man. With it don't look like a church performance at all.
I mean, you telling me you in the spirit? I tell you what kind of spirit you're in. I know exactly what spirit you're in. Oh man, the concert was so good. I was in the spirit. I bet you were.
You ain't dressed. You ain't dressed.
So, great lesson, King. All praises. Are you?
Khan, Bahashim Mashiach Yahushua. The water. The water, man. We're going to close out in prayer. Stand and face the east or get in a comfortable praying position. I'll give you about 15 seconds to get right, and we're going to close out in prayer.
Man, King, my knees hurt. I've been standing facing the east all night.
Khan, well, sit down and face the east. Sit down and face the east. Khan. Khan. All right, we're going to close out in Lord's Prayer. Stand and face the east or sit and face the east. Heavenly Father, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And it's the Lord's Prayer in the Paleo Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwathka, Daba'ah, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Nathan Lanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafyanawa, Wala'a, Dabayanahawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Wala'a, Walatapara, Lawamyam, Khan, all praises by Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
Shalom Mashiach Yahushua.